Loser. Anybody ever say that to you? I actually had a debate with myself if I could come up and say that for dramatic effect. Have you lost a football game? Has your team lost a football game? Have you lost a job, a promotion? Have you lost people? You lost some of your health, some of your wealth? Ooh, we have all felt as if we were a loser. Or let's say it this way, you thought the word loser came into your head one way or another, and you felt the pileup of loser feelings, worthless, angry, sad, afraid, loss, shock. Then there was Job. The Sabaeans stole all the oxen and donkeys and killed the servants. The sheep and the servants tending them were consumed in a fire. The Chaldeans stole the camels and killed the servants. Man, those don't work for him. Tending them. Job's 7 sons and 3 daughters were killed at the brothers' house when they were having a feast, and bam, fell on them from a horrendous wind. Job is covered with hideous boils and festering sores. In the end, his 3 friends, a prophet, and his wife, speak against him. And I am going to stand here and tell you to have faith. But I'm going to talk about not close-up faith, but faith from a distance. So I know that each of you have a loser story, and we're just going to dwell on it a little bit, and I promise we will transmogrify that into another feeling. One of my kids just sent me an email. Roland doesn't even know that he had to take a test for promotion, and he failed the test. So he was broken. He was fine, but he was also, I think he said, he wrote, the quote is out of whack. You know? And he can take the test again in another year. And it's funny how, people you love, I could feel, I just felt a little bit of going on with me about, let me call somebody. or let me tell you, like immediately I wanted to reassure him that he was fine, that he was awesome, and that it would be okay. But I did remember the first time I was disappointed in a job. I was 16, and I'd gone to CYO, Catholic Youth Organization summer camp, and I wanted to be a counselor. They didn't hire many 16-year-olds. Mostly they hired older ones, but they hired a few. And I can remember applying to that and going for the interview. And I actually think that might have been the most disappointing day of my life when I was turned down from being a counselor. And I know that everybody here has 1, 2, or 3 stories like that when you were disappointed and you felt as if you were not ever going to be okay ever again. That's what I'm going for. Just for a minute, I promise we'll change it. But just remember let's give us 30 seconds to remember when you thought you would never be okay again, and how that feels. And then, for all of us, I'm pretty sure most of those stories are in the past, and that we were okay again. We am okay. We are okay. I'm okay. I got to be a counselor at a really cool camp, at several camps. I went on to be a camp director and work a lot with kids in recreation, and I loved it. It was my favorite job, besides ministry. Those are my 2 favorite jobs, summer camp and ministry. There's a lot of similarities. But faith is complete trust in all that is. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Complete trust in pure source. Complete trust in the ceaseless, restless, creative flow of energy in the universe. Here is your question of the day. How can I get closer to pure source? Say it one more time. How can I get closer to pure source? Let's let that question sit. Here's your other question for the day. How do glasses work? How do glasses work? Is it magic? Glasses work by adjusting the focal point of light so that the image reaching the retina of the eye is in focus. Opticians cut the lenses to bring the image closer, to bring it further, or to correct other vision problems such as double vision. A lot of us have glasses or contacts for some part of our life. And in effect, my prescription lens distorts or changes the path of the light so that I can see better. Right? It changes it. And it seems that there is a thing as perfect vision. We call it 20/20. And people who have 20/20 need no distortion. We're just going to go with this. We're going to talk about it metaphysically. But so there is such a thing as perfect vision, which means that the light hits your retina and you see perfectly what is in front of you and far away. See it perfectly. I do not have that kind of vision. But let's get metaphysical and think about how we think and operate in the world. And there's an interesting idea that we are all looking through many lenses. So metaphysically, I'm not actually talking about vision now, I'm talking about what we look through and as we negotiate in the world. You have a lens from your family of origin, including the ancestors. We have lenses from our culture, from our being human, from being a man or a woman, we have a lens. From any religion we were raised in, we have another lens. And from any religion we've explored or any spiritual path, right? So just think, we have so many lenses and they're bending what's out there as it gets into our mind and our heart. So, and everybody's had the experience of a lens that doesn't work anymore, right? You see that it was a lens you grew up with, but you see it as a distortion, and you're ready to say, I don't need that lens anymore. Here's a lens. Some people are better than other people because of their race, their economic bracket, their level of education, their gender identity, their religious beliefs or practices, their sports team. That was supposed to make you laugh, but we've had let's just face it, we've had a lens along that idea that hasn't worked, or we've seen that. And I bet all of us would agree that any of those lenses are so clearly a distortion because the assertion depends on a point of view. It's really clear to us that that kind of lens is a distorted lens. Try this one. Some people are better because they are holier, kinder, nicer, give more money to the church or center. Is that a distorted lens? I'm going to say yeah. I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. So we have a unity lens, a unity prescription. It goes like this. We say it every Sunday. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. Now, is that another lens, or is that prescription taking away some of the distorted lenses? Now, I'm going to postulate, given as how that is one of the precepts I believe in, that by using that lens, that will take away some of the other lenses that were distortions. If there's only one presence and one power, and it's God the good, then a lens like somebody's not good or somebody's better than someone else would not fit. It would be taken away. What if there is such a thing as 20/20 truth? Perfect truth. I believe there is. And I believe that the only way you know it is in your own heart. I can tell you what I think, but I actually believe that there's 20/20 truth in everybody's heart and mind, deep down. And that when we work to cast aside the distorted lenses that we've been raised with and are all around us all the time, that we have the knowing inside us and we have that experience of perfect truth. How we think and operate as a soul in the world. I keep saying, and you keep listening, that you are divinity expressing as yourself, expressing as Dennis, as Cindy, as Holly. You are divinity right now. In this exact person, in this exact body, this body, not the one in here or the one out there that you want, this body, this person, you're expressing his divinity. And I get that from there is only one power and one purpose in my life. In all our lives. One person, one presence, one power active in my life and in the universe. God the good, omnipotent. Well, Job is not just a story of sheer endurance and blind faith. A metaphysical understanding of that story is that it is an existential awakening leading to the attainment of prophecy in the book's final scenes. The story, in other words, is about one person's ascendance from a normative religious life to a deeply spiritual one. As the process takes place, the narrative expounds on the biblical secrets of the cosmic order, the nature of humanity, and above all, heavenly redemption through the light of wisdom. The deal about the story is that it's a conversation between Job and spiritual teachers, and Job and himself, and Job and the Almighty. And if you go through the conversation, part of the part that I always grab onto is that basically the voice of God in the story kind of says, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. And discounts the theory that Job was being punished or tried. But that instead, each of us have our way through to become, as we see in unity, the Christ, or as we might say in Buddhism, the Buddha, or our true self. You know? So that the story of Job, which we all have, I know that we could all write our own Job story about our trials and our tribulations, the storms, the boils, and all that, the being let go, the things that disappointed us. The point of it is our personal evolving ascension. If you interpret the story this way, the book of Job has a different question than why do bad things happen to good people, which is a traditional interpretation, can be. But instead, it can be about one person's journey to responding to worldly suffering as a basis for awakening and enlightenment. The story of one person's eventual direct experience of God. Now, let me go back to the idea of distance and why I'm talking about faith from a distance. And why the story of Job illustrates that. Because when the thing happens, when I'm 16 and CYO did not hire me that summer, apparently I have a little forgiveness to do. And I felt crushed. I really did, but I don't now. I really don't now. And the faith I'm talking about from a distance is a greater faith. I'm asking us not just to talk about faith that that situation's going to be okay, even if I'd never worked at a summer camp. I'm asking us to have the faith that we're going to be okay because we're leading our lives wanting to evolve into the amazingness that we have, the potential that we have. And so that I'm also asking us to take an even bigger leap. I'm asking us not just to think that this lifetime is going to be okay, but the bigger picture of our soul's journey. That I think that I and you, this isn't my first rodeo or yours, and there's a couple more rodeos to get to, and maybe even some spiritual kind of exploration I have no idea about because of my eternal, same as the Creator, ceaseless, restless, evolving energy of the universe. One would have to go with knowing oneself as divinity, and that would be a thing, that you know God. Complete trust in all that is, and that is faith. Let's take an offering for unity. I invite you to take your gift that you are giving freely and with joy, knowing that it's